Hey, what's up, guys? This is me again, Inquisitor Isom on Overlip. I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, but this video is going to cover a topic or a problem that I had very early with the 360. I bought a 360 about 6 or 7 months after it first came out. Probably a little longer than that. Okay. Yeah, I bought a 360 about 6 or 7 months after it came out. Probably a little longer. I know my strategy was I just bought an arcade for $200, arcade version with no hard drive. And then I bought my own hard drive, when I was ready for a hard drive. Well, I was always ready for one, but I bought one, at like a slightly cheaper price on Amazon. And anyway, the problem I had very early with the 360 PS2. I'm just going to recap my last video. If you watched my other video about PS2 versus slim PS2 versus fat PS2, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you didn't watch it, or if you don't want to watch it, I'll just recap. I ran across a problem with disc cracking. It started off on my PS2 with the slim model. Like I found that the slim model was cracking a game that I had. It only cracked one game. One game was enough. I was just like picking up speed, I guess, with like collecting, and I wasn't trading games then anymore, which is a big thing for me because that's all I ever did. But once I realized that Amazon has more games than GameStop, which I should have knew before, and that Amazon keeps their games longer than GameStop. Like GameStop, if a copy of Dot Hack or a copy of Digital Devil Saga or Dark Cloud's in there, you better get it, or someone else is going to get it. Whereas Amazon, they'll keep a copy of Dark Cloud or a copy of Dot Hack, like 70 or whatever, 80 copies of them for years. And, so once I realized that, that I could actually buy games without, worrying about somebody buying them, the only real problem I had to worry about was like prices inflating or whatever. Then I was just strictly Amazon and eBay and, stuff like that. But anyway, my games were cracking. Persona 3 cracked on my slim PS2. I said, screw that. My friend gave me his big PS2. Since then, I've been collecting big PS2s. And also, my Xbox 360, like right after Persona 3, it's funny because right after Persona 3 cracked, I was like 40 hours in. It cracked. I didn't worry about it. I kept playing it and taking it in and out of the case and in and out of the, inserting it in and out of the console. The cracks started getting bigger. They started becoming more cracks. After a while, the spindle or the wheel couldn't even spin the disc. A similar problem happened to me, and I don't know why this happened. It seems as though it always happened with games that were really long. I don't know why, because same thing with Fallout 3. When Fallout 3 first came out, oh my goodness, I was excited. I like to consider that my first true 360 experience or whatever, or next gen experience, and I was like maybe 50 or 60 hours in, and the game starts to crack, and I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it, as long as I just take care of it or whatever, it'll be okay. But no, that wasn't the case. The more I took it in and out of the case, it started cracking. It cracked even more. It cracked in multiple spots. After a while, the game was unreadable, because same thing. I'm guessing it had so many cracks in it that like it actually started to chip, like pieces of the plastic started to chip, and I knew it was I knew that it was the case because because after a while the cracks started having shapes. Like this, the shape of a crack would be like sort of like a little tiny square, and like I knew that like sort of like a hole punch, the way a hole puncher punches a hole through a piece of paper, and you can tell it was a hole puncher. Well, I'm pretty sure my 360 wasn't doing that damage, and it was square, similar to like one of these squares right here, or triangles, or whatever they are, after a while, this, like the cracks started to align with the designs of the teeth of the cases. And like I said, it's not a big issue. It was for me, but I've never really heard anybody talk about it. Never. So I'm guessing maybe it's me. Maybe I don't know how to handle disc or whatever. So I wanted to do a video talking about Xbox games and cases. In case you can tell by the title of the video. And one problem I have with them is they crack your disc. Not all the time. It's much like what I said in my PS2 video. It happens at random, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because you don't want it to happen randomly, because it may be a game you really like. It may be a really rare game. It might be near for the 360, which is, just as expensive. Well, I think it's a little cheaper than the PS3 version. But, you don't want it to happen with games, period. Especially with games that you really like or that you really enjoy playing. And, yeah. And the same thing with the PS2. If you notice, what doesn't happen now, but sometimes there's a little bit of give. You can sort of, if you have a 360 game at home and you have one of these designs, try it out. And you'll see that, see right there? Watch this. You can't see it, but this part right here is actually bending. That's not good, Furthermore, I don't know why Microsoft chose to make their games that cheap. I think I know why. My conspiracy is that, they want to cheaply make their stuff. I mean, the systems work fine. I think as far as discs, maybe they intentionally made them cheap. So when it's time for the next system, you can say, well, geez, hopefully the next system and its products are better than what I already have. Maybe that was their plan or whatever. But then again, that's just my paranoid side talking. But I don't like that right there. And as you can see, there are many different designs. I don't have a lot. I'm gonna I actually asked people at my local GameStop, could I have some 2 or 3 360 cases, and they said I could. So I'll show you guys more cases in another video. But there's this design right here, which this is probably my first time seeing this design right here, and this is probably actually better. This is actually sort of better. This is way better. Wow. Okay. It's my first time ever seeing this design right here. But okay. Because this is actually my friend's game, and so that design is excluded. But I'm gonna show you the designs anyway. This design, that design, and this design, and there's a whole bunch more as well. And with me, when that happened with when my Fallout game cracked, first I tried I would take a quarter and I'll try to mash the teeth to sort of soften them up some, because I wanted to get it to the point where I didn't hear a snap when I released it. Or when I took the game out of the case, or when I put the game back in the case, I didn't want to hear that little. I didn't want to hear that right there, and so I tried that for a while. That got sort of annoying and tiresome. So then I tried bashing him with a hammer, and that didn't work so well either. I mean, it worked a little bit, but eventually, not because of that reason, but the simple fact that I had got so many 360 games, I had amassed so many 360 games that I had a little mini file cabinet full and a TV stand full. So I just took all the cases, took them out the cases, put them in a DVD binder, which is what I do. For my PS2 and PS3 games, I'll probably leave those in cases. But yeah, this right here, this is actually the best one. It still makes a noise, but there's almost no pressure on your disc. If there is pressure, I'm pretty sure it's the least amount of pressure. As you can see, the less teeth, the better. Which is also what she said. But yeah, that's my video. Oh, one more thing. I don't know why the games are so slim. Like this one is slim, very very slim. Like they're almost cheaper than the material that CDs are made out of. And if you ever had a portable CD, if you ever had a portable CD player, they're like you have to snap it onto that little wheel. I have CDs that never crack. Maybe once out of the 300 or 400 CDs I have that never cracked. These things, I've had two of them crack. First was Fallout 3. Second, there was a game called Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. And yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But this is very, very thin. Cheaper than CD material, if you ask me. This, you can't really tell the difference, but this, to me, is a lot better. It's a lot more sturdy, and even the new ones they have, the Blu-rays. The Blu-rays are the best because they're so strong. But yeah, the story about the first, let's get into the original. The originals, Xbox original. I've never received a cracked Xbox game. I'm guessing it's sort of an unspoken rule or something, but I've never when I shopped online and I bought a lot of games online, I never once received a cracked original Xbox game. So thank God for that. But the Xbox discs, they're not too much better. They're about, I don't know if they're stronger or not. But the design that I collect, because when I transferred all of my games to DVD cases, I saved all the cases I had of this, and I had about 15 of them. Some of them I used for my Xbox games. Some of them all of them I used for my Xbox games, because my Xbox 360 games, they were inside of a DVD binder. And yeah, it's just I never hear nobody talk about this on YouTube. I'm guessing it's not a problem. I'm guessing I don't know how to handle games or whatever. But I doubt it. I have about 500 games, all discs. But yeah. One more thing before I go. When Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom, that game I had for 360, I still have it now. I mean, I bought another copy. I took it to GameStop because I wanted to be honest. I was like, look, the game is cracked, but it still plays as long as you don't use the case. Because that's the thing. I stopped using the case for that game. I put it inside of a sleeve, and I was like, can I still trade it in? It works, but it's cracked. He said, no, we can't accept damaged or broken products. Plus, to make matters worse, I bought the only copy they had. So I explained it to them. They told me I couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything about it. So they sent me to another store. Well, they didn't send me. They told me that another store has it, and I tried to go to that store and see if I could exchange it, because the game had broke within 7 days. So I could still return it for another copy. It just they didn't have another copy. So I went to the other store. Well, not only that, but they didn't have another copy, and they said, well, it didn't break in our store. So there's nothing they could do about it. There's nothing they could do about it. And I was like, I wanted to just sort of go off, because I was like, when does the game break in your store? You have to take it home and try it out. I mean, of course it's not going to break in your store. I mean, come on. I don't, my game console isn't inside of GameStop, so that whole saying is stupid. It didn't break in our store, whatever. But anyway, I took it to another GameStop, and I was trying to tell him, I was like, I did not explain this. I was like, maybe it's just the fact that the case is so new. I was trying to say that the prongs hadn't seen enough wear, so they were still kind of hard, because whatever machine makes the cases, the prongs, or the teeth, they're still sort of stiff, because the case is still new. And he looked at me like I was stupid. He's like, "Oh no, I'm not taking that crap. I can't take that. You didn't buy it here, so you can't exchange it." So, needless to say, I was shunned away. You know, I was rejected. So, yeah, that was just crazy. But like, you know, it always baffled me. You know, like, you know, like GameStop, they've taken over EB Games, Funko Land, and they've taken over a game store that used to be in my local mall called Software Etc. They've taken over all those stores. They've invested so much money, and this isn't a GameStop rant. You know, I like GameStop. I still go to GameStop to buy new releases or whatever. I still do that. I'll get to that in a second. But they invest all this money into, like, you know, advertising games and selling games, but they don't really invest any money into educating their employees. Like, for all the games they have, none of them can actually tell you much about them. They can tell you about the software, this and that, you know, HDMI plugs, whatever. But they don't know how to fix them. They know nothing about how to repair the games. You know, they have to send it to a warehouse or send it back to the manufacturer, which to me, that's sort of like stupid. That's sort of, you know, just ridiculous. You know, like, they invest all this money into, like, selling games, advertising games, but not into actually knowing how to fix the games. When there's a problem, they got to send it back to the people who made the game. And it's a shame because there's people on YouTube that can explain to you, you know, how to fix games or how to, you know, like, deal with gaming issues or whatever, when they can't really even do it. I even know a tip. One thing, it's not really a tip, but I found that some games that I would buy from other sellers. Yes. Okay.
She said that, well, the one that's at the house said she's coming to get me.
Okay.
I guess Miss Singh buying the toy.
Okay. All right.
Alright. She said when I was there, said she can come get me now. She wants to
All right.
run away.
All right. Yeah, that was my girlfriend. But one thing I sort of learned is there's little stickers that, like, rental stores put on their disc, and sometimes, you know, like, the stickers are around the disc. That actually helps a lot. You know, like, I find that it actually, you know, like, it sort of increases the disc strength. Like, I've never had a game that's had a sticker around the edges or around the ring ever crack on me or whatever. But yeah, you know, it's just ridiculous how, like, GameStop can't fix stuff or whatever. And it's what I was saying before. This isn't, you know, like, a don't shop at GameStop video. This isn't a GameStop rant or nothing like that. You know, because, like, you know, I still buy games from GameStop. It's just like I try not to, like, rely on them. Like, I keep my expectations with them to a minimum. You know, because, like, when a game first comes out, it's $60 everywhere. Even online, it's $60. You know, only after a few weeks or whatever, or a few months, or usually a few weeks. Only after a few weeks does the price start to actually decrease on, like, eBay and Amazon and stuff like that. But that's about it. Here's the design of one of the original Xbox cases. These are okay. Like, I still prefer this one, but I've never ever cracked the original Xbox game. Here's another design right here. You know, these are a lot better. Like, I wish they would have stuck with this design for the 360 games. You know, but whatever. So yeah, that was my 2 cents on, like, disc, you know, integrity, I guess. You know, because I never heard nobody else talk about it, and I'm sure that someone else has gone through the problem. They probably never discussed it, you know, on YouTube or whatever. I know because when I went to buy my copy of a copy of Two Roads 2, the game was cracked. So somebody, you know, somebody knew about it, and I went to purchase it, and, you know, they keep all of the disc. GameStop, they keep all of the disc in drawers, and, you know, I took the case, gave it to him. He gave me he showed me the disc, and I was like, "Can I see the disc?" Because I like to inspect my discs. Ever since I ran into, like, the cracking issues, he was like, "Sure, you can see the disc," and it had, like, you know, those little lines. Like, the game was clearly cracked. You could see it and tell that it was cracked. Like, you know, like, you could tell from, like, maybe like a couple feet away. You didn't even have to be close to it to see that it was cracked in multiple areas. And I was like, oh, this game's cracked. And he's like, so you don't want it? And I was like, what do you mean? So I don't want it? I thought you guys couldn't sell cracked games, because the one I wanted to trade in, that was at a different GameStop, like one right down the street. That one was cracked. And he's like, so you don't want it? And I was like, why would I want to crack a game? Like I don't even think the game was tested. So that's another thing that sort of baffled me at the time. I was like, they're selling partially broken games, but they won't return them. That's to me, that's just stupid. And that's my 2 cents on that. I guess you can consider that my another contribution. Aside from the Let's Plays I do to the world of gaming and game collecting. And this is Osinold Overlip signing out. Once again, I will be starting my Let's Plays again in September, maybe before September. I'm not sure yet. I got some exciting news about Let's Plays anyways. Exciting for me. I don't know how exciting it's going to be for you guys, but whatever. Osinold Overlip signing out. And remember, beware of inconsistent designs. There's so many different designs for these cases. And this one, if you find this one, good. Hang on to all of these that you can find. These are the best ones. Stuff like this. This one's surprising. This one's actually pretty neat. This one's okay. But like other designs, stay away from them. They all suck. Except for this one and that one. Osinold Overlip again. This is my real exit this time. Signing out. See you guys later.